More recently, we're seeing sugar alcohol as an ingredient in many of the products we're buying. But do you actually know what the difference is between sugar and a sugar alcohol? That's what we're going to find out in this episode of Ask Jamie. So what is a sugar alcohol compared to sugar? How does it relate back to sugar? Well, one, sugar alcohols are chemical structures that are naturally found in fruits and vegetables, as well as through the processing of sugar. They're similar in taste, maybe a little less sweet, similar in name, obviously, and they're similar in chemical structure. They relate both to sugar and alcohol. Now, the chemical structure that it contains triggers your taste receptors that results in a pleasing sweetness. That's why these sugar alcohols are being substituted for sugar in many products, because it gives you that sweet flavor or appeal. Now, the common types are xylitol, erythritol, that one's becoming very popular, sorbitol, maltitol, and mannitol. These are probably the most common ones you'll see in ingredient lists. The major differences between sugar alcohol and sugar is, one, the level of sweetness. Sugar alcohol is less sweet than natural sugar. In the body's ability to digest sugar alcohols, it's harder to digest sugar alcohols, or they may be a bit more irritating to the digestive system. And then the caloric content is different. They have less calories per gram than regular sugar. And we'll get more into that in the next episode of Ask Jamie. Let's keep talking about sugar alcohols versus sugar. Well, sugar alcohols are less sweet than sugar. I mentioned that in the previous video. They're also lower in calories, approximately 2 calories per gram versus sugar, which is 4 calories per gram. So almost half the calories, little less sweet. Now, one of the issues that can arise with sugar alcohols, because sugar alcohols are polyols, and polyols sometimes give the digestive system a little bit of an issue. There is a lower digestive efficiency when we eat polyols. So what happens is sugar alcohols pass through and into the large intestine. The gut bacteria begins to ferment them, and then we get a pretty major frowny face. Basically, it acts as a laxative if we eat too much. Now, one that may act a bit differently is erythritol. It's absorbed, but it is not metabolized. Therefore, it is excreted through the urine pretty much intact. So it doesn't have the same digestive issues, but it still has the sweetness that we're looking for. Some of the benefits of sugar alcohols are, one, it has a decreased effect on blood glucose versus sugar. It has a lower caloric value, which means we can use these in essence to help weight loss. But sugar alcohols are no magic pill. And also, it does not have the same effect on tooth decay as sugar can. There is a safe amount, and that is not going over 10 to 15 grams per day. Not that going over this is going to cause anything more than that frowny face. Let's keep talking about sugar alcohol, shall we? And let me ask you a question. How do we know if a food actually contains sugar alcohols? Well, very simply. Look at the ingredient list. If an ingredient ends in OL, xylitol, maltitol, mannitol, sorbitol, lactitol, erythritol, it is a sugar alcohol. Other terms that you'll find, though, before you ever get to the ingredient list, can be sugar-free or low in sugar. A lot of baked goods, candies, gums, protein bars, it's being added to more and more of the products that we enjoy. Other terminology that you may find on labels is if it says excessive consumption may have a laxative effect. Frowny face, you're probably taking in quite a bit of sugar alcohol. If your product is extremely low in carbohydrate, might be using erythritol if it still has a pretty good sweet flavor. The reason being is, compared to other sugar alcohols, erythritol is pretty much 0 calorie, good sweetness, so it is becoming the preferred sugar alcohol because you can keep the calories even lower and the sweetness a little bit higher. Examples of this are Quest protein bar. This uses about 3 grams of erythritol to, again, keep the sweet flavor, but the calories low. And then you have another example of One Bar, 20 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar. As it promotes, it uses 5 grams of maltitol, again, to keep the calories low and the sweetness up. So can I tell you, or should I say, if this is good or bad? It takes a little trial and error. If your digestive system handles this well, you want to keep your caloric content low, maybe look for items that have sugar alcohols. If your digestive system does not handle this well, then we're going to have to find another way, but that's totally up to you. Till next time, eat with a purpose, give your body what it needs when it needs it.